The enigmatic allure of pyramids is truly captivating, and their sophistication surpasses our wildest imaginations. Despite our fascination, we remain perplexed about their true purpose, construction techniques, and the civilizations that erected them. Remarkably, these pyramid structures transcend geographical boundaries and emerge on every continent, forging a connection with the stars through intricate mathematical alignments, equations, and symbols, which cannot be merely dismissed as coincidences. Allow me to invite you on an enthralling journey as we delve into the profound knowledge and ingenuity that must have been required to construct these awe-inspiring pyramids, starting with a pilgrimage to one of the most mysterious ancient cities on Earth, Teotihuacan.
I keep my eyes wide open. There's a shift in the matrix, don't close them. On fire, but I'm still frozen. Your heart don't affect is in motion. I know that they're watching. Got a feeling that a new age is dawning. Ooh, I know that something's coming, like a rumbling. Are you coming? Let me get my affairs in order. This is a new world order. Call it what you will, call it a disorder. I am just a messenger, I'm just an informer. We have all this power. We should be blooming like flowers. What more can we devour? Don't you know the tale of Babel's tower?
Teotihuacan, an ancient Mesoamerican city nestled in the heart of Mexico, stands as one of the most enigmatic civilizations in history. Despite numerous speculations, the true architects of this extraordinary city remain a mystery, often attributed to the Mayans or sometimes the Aztecs. This sprawling metropolis, spread across an 8-square-mile expanse, boasts 3 majestic pyramids: the Pyramid of the Sun, the Pyramid of the Moon, and the Pyramid of the Feathered Serpent, that command remembrance throughout the ages. Accompanying the Grand Pyramids are over 200 smaller buildings and temples, lining the majestic Avenue of the Dead. Once inhabited by over 100,000 residents, Teotihuacan's origins are believed to date back to 300 AD, casting its rich history into antiquity. Curiously, similarities arise when comparing Teotihuacan to the iconic pyramids of Giza. Both evoke a sense of wonder, hinting at remarkable engineering feats. However, beneath their awe-inspiring facades, numerous uncertainties persist. While the Greeks are celebrated in education for their contributions to history, mathematics, science, and architecture, ancient sites like Göbekli Tepe, Sumer, Egypt, and Teotihuacan often pose more questions than answers. The unanswered questions remain untouched, not even given a moment of consideration; they are simply ignored. Indeed, it appears that human history's true significance might be lost amidst the selective storytelling of the media. Imagine stumbling upon a remarkable discovery in South Carolina: countless diamonds lying in abundance. Such an awe-inspiring find would undoubtedly captivate the imagination. As the story unfolds, one might narrate the events that led to the decision of mining in that very location, the reasons, the time of day, the attire worn, and the tools employed for the task. These intriguing details might enthrall the listeners, drawing their focus away from the true enigma at hand: how did these precious gems come to exist in South Carolina? It's a question that lingers unanswered, shrouded in mystery, leaving us to wonder about the captivating tale of diamonds finding their way to such an unexpected place. Some people have mastered this technique, but if you ask just the right amount of questions, with the facts presented, mix with the facts not told, and then understand the questions that cannot be answered, you can come to the truth. Perhaps, hidden within these ancient sites lies a profound connection that challenges our modern perceptions. So now that we have told our side of what we the people, media, so on so forth think that is Teotihuacan, let's see what our ancestors have to say about it. The ancient Aztec metropolis, Tenochtitlan, resides in present-day Mexico City. The Aztec civilization reigned from the 14th to the 16th century AD, considering Tenochtitlan as their first official settlement. However, according to ancient Aztec texts, their origins differ from this location. They claim to have originated from a place to the north called Chicamoztoc, a cave housing 7 distinct caverns, each with its own king and tribe. The Aztecs assert their connection as one of the 7 tribes within this mysterious cave system. But what is with the number 7? The fascination with the number 7 is indeed intriguing. Across various ancient civilizations, we find the presence of 7 sages, wise men, or gods who played pivotal roles in the emergence and advancement of their respective societies. From the Sumerian history, where the 7 sages, known as the Apkallu, laid the foundation for an older civilization, to the Saptarshi in India, the 7 wise masters in Rome, and the 7 gods of Egypt who guided and safeguarded their people. The recurring theme of 7 influential figures raises questions about the significance of this number. Are we focusing on the wrong aspect? Perhaps it is not merely the number but rather the identities of these 7 sages that matter? Could it be possible that despite diverse backgrounds and continents, our ancestors share a common narrative about these guiding figures? Or are they all the different versions of the one original story? Hold on to that thought. Now, Chicamoztoc was once thought to be a mythical place. Historians, archaeological evidence, as well as the Aztecs suggest that it is real. And it is located at the site of Teotihuacan. The place of the 7 caves have been said to have been located at the site of the main temple in Teotihuacan, the Pyramid of the Sun. Are you ready for this? The Pyramid of the Sun, located in Teotihuacan, sits north of the Valley of Mexico. Underneath it is a cave with 7 different spots that extends out. Just like the Aztecs claim, this is the place that the Aztecs said their masters, sages, and gods came from. According to the modern native population, the Aztecs believed they were fashioned by 7 gods in 7 caves. There is also a legend that long ago, a gigantic flint knife flew from the sky crashing into the earth. Then 1,600 gods came out of the flint knife and created humans and civilization spreading across the globe. This sounds like Egypt's story of gods landing in the waters, coming from the sky in a pyramid-shaped craft. If you look up the Ben stone, there are multiple different stories about the gods descending in a ship shaped like the Ben stones in Egypt, with fire and smoke. What's even more fascinating is the movie The Eternal Spaceship is shaped like a triangle, which is exactly like the Ben stone or the pyramid. And that's only one of many coincidences and similarities between Teotihuacan and Egypt. Teotihuacan, despite its grandeur and magnificence, remains shrouded in mystery, just like the pyramids of Egypt. There are no books, stories, depictions, or records revealing the identity of its builders. The city seems to emerge from the shadows of history, with no signs of smaller structures showing its gradual evolution. This enigmatic civilization flourished with sophisticated art, engineering, and craftsmanship, leaving us pondering its origin. Within the realm of ancient lore, various native accounts attribute the creation of Teotihuacan to the feathered serpent. The feather serpent was said to come from Venus or sometimes Mars. They also say that it was the thunder gods. The latter earned their name due to the tales of earth-shaking occurrences upon their arrival. The notion of gods constructing the city is reflected in its very name, Teotihuacan, which means, the city of the god. Yet, delving into the chronology of Teotihuacan's age reveals a perplexing aspect. Archaeologists date the site to around 300 AD, but astonishingly, some existing structures were built on top of even older edifices, whose origins surpass the imagination. The allure of Teotihuacan continues to draw thousands of people from around the world to explore its wonders, unaware that beneath the surface lies a history stretching back far beyond the 300 AD estimate. When observing the stonework at the Pyramid of the Feathered Serpent, it becomes apparent that 2 to 3 different building methods were employed. The first method displays smooth cuts and sharp angles, far beyond the capabilities of simple tools, suggesting advanced craftsmanship. Contrasting this, there are signs of stonework that align with what one might expect from a primitive civilization. Curiously, a blend of the two techniques emerges, hinting at the possibility that the first method belonged to a much older and more sophisticated civilization. These initial stones, constructed using a type of volcanic rock called andesite, weigh up to 10 tons and exhibit intricate detailing. The volcanic nature of andesite has left the stones with smooth surfaces, sharp edges, and well-defined corners, a feat unattainable through simple tools. Archaeologists propose the intriguing idea that a pre-existing, ancient structure could have stood in this exact location before the Aztecs built the Pyramid of the Feathered Serpent. Yet, this leaves us contemplating the enigmatic question: who were the master builders responsible for the original structures on this site? In 1884, archaeologist Leopoldo Batras commenced excavations at Teotihuacan, unearthing pyramids buried beneath layers of earth, reaching up to 12 feet in depth. He speculated that only a catastrophic event could account for this phenomenon, leading to questions about whether Teotihuacan's pyramids, like those of Giza, were similarly concealed by sand and dirt. The notion of an extensive period of time covering the pyramids seemed improbable, prompting consideration of a catastrophic flood, possibly the renowned deluge. Recent discoveries in scientific research have indeed confirmed the occurrence of a significant flood, known as the Great Flood, during a period called the Younger Dryas, estimated to have taken place between 10,000 and 11,000 BC, approximately 12 to 13,000 years ago. This historical context might provide a plausible explanation for the difficulty archaeologists have faced in identifying the leaders or inhabitants of Teotihuacan. All we have are the Aztecs' legends who say the gods did it. The Aztec legends also recount a narrative of the 7 gods restarting and recreating humankind within 7 caves after the Great Flood. Once the floodwaters receded, these gods emerged and initiated the new beginning of humanity. This suggests the gods' awareness of the impending flood and that their retreat underground establishes intriguing connections with underground cities in Egypt, Göbekli Tepe, an ancient underground city in Turkey, and other ancient sites. The possibility that our ancestors discovered ways to endure the flood by seeking refuge underground opens a fascinating avenue of exploration, which I'll delve into in another video. Notably, the underground city of Derinkuyu in Turkey holds significant importance. This sprawling city housed more than 20,000 people, along with their livestock and food supplies. The chilling aspect emerges when we question the reasons behind their choice to live underground. The question is why though? Could it have been because of the Great Flood? Clearly there is evidence that Teotihuacan may be 10,000 years old, especially if the Aztecs are claiming the gods built this place before or after the flood. But there is still the question: who were these gods the Aztecs claim, and why would a god or gods build stone structures? It seems so primitive. Right? October 2003, hard rain causes a sinkhole at the foot of the Temple of the Feather Serpent. Archaeologists began digging and found a tunnel leading under the Feather Serpent Temple. 12 years later, April 2015, archaeologist Sergio Gomez and his team make a crazy discovery. They found large amounts of liquid mercury. The funny thing is, mercury cannot exist in its native form, so the idea that primitive people built the structures go out the window due to the age of the pyramids, the legend of the site, and the large amounts of mercury. Cinnabar is a natural mineralic material which has to be extracted from mercury. One would have to be a chemist or alchemist to pull this off. We are talking about advanced knowledge of the understanding of chemicals. I'm not saying our ancestors couldn't do it. But they couldn't have been primitive, they had to be advanced, not to mention mercury is toxic. So now we have to ask, where did it come from and for what purpose did it serve? The presence of mercury in Teotihuacan gains even more significance when we consider its rare occurrence elsewhere. The only other site known to feature mercury is within the tomb of the first emperor in China. Interestingly, the city of Xi'an, where the tomb is located, is also home to around 100 pyramids surrounding the first emperor's burial site. Another connection, not to mention, the pyramids in Egypt, Mesoamerica, and China are aligned with the Orion constellation. In presenting this case, I aim to shed light on the idea that our ancestors were not as divided as we might perceive them to be. In contemporary times, we often find ourselves separated by race, gender, and religious beliefs. However, the evidence suggests that our ancient ancestors might have discovered a way to transcend the ignorance of such divisions driven by differences. Perhaps they found a path towards unity and understanding, setting an example for us to reflect upon and strive to emulate in our own time. Then we find that the 100 pyramids found in China has no ancient records of their existence. We don't know who or what created them, another connection we see in Egypt and Teotihuacan. Then when we understand what liquid mercury is used in today's standards, we understand that liquid mercury is a superconductor. In modern times this energy is being used as free energy generation, advanced medical images, and transportation projects. So going back and delving further into the legend, it begins with the feathered serpent and the thunder gods descending from the sky. The intriguing aspect is that they chose to come in a giant flint knife, rather than simply appearing as gods. This choice suggests a deeper meaning, perhaps the flint knife held symbolism or significance for them. The flint knife sounds as if it was necessary for the arrival. When we use the term gods, we often attribute extraordinary powers and abilities based on the descriptions handed down by our ancestors. However, what if these descriptions were more about their personalities than their ability? The notion of a powerful god being confined within a giant flint knife raises questions about the choice of this peculiar transportation method. Interestingly, liquid mercury, a substance used in modern times in various technologies like cars, electric trains, and even NASA equipment, is discovered precisely in the place where the Aztecs claim the gods built, under the feathered serpent pyramid, the most important of all gods. And then, the feather serpent is attributed to the planet Venus and sometimes Mars. So we have multiple advanced civilizations with awe-inspiring pyramids, remarkable star alignments, and legends of beings descending from the sky, arriving in flint knives or colossal stones amidst smoke and fire. What makes this even more intriguing is the presence of liquid mercury discovered at these ancient sites. In our modern era, liquid mercury serves vital roles in technology and space exploration. These are for your own interpretations, but you can see where this is going. As a matter of fact, the evidence is pointing beyond the atmosphere. So could the vast amounts of liquid mercury found in a 2,000 to 10,000-year-old pyramid be used for some type of technology? In May of 2015, 2 years before the discovery of liquid mercury at Teotihuacan, archaeologist Sergio Gomez and his team discovered hundreds of metallic gold spheres beneath the Temple of the Feather Serpent. The exterior was burned pyrite and on the interior was mostly clay. In fact, the entire chamber had flecks of this golden pyrite or fool's gold all over it. One of analysis of these golden spheres is that there are substances in them that can't be identified. The archaeologist cannot explain how or what these things are doing under the pyramids. Then if we go back even further, in 1906, archaeologist Leopoldo Batris discovered layers of mica throughout the complex of Teotihuacan complex. They discovered entire sheets of this material which is used in electrical applications. This is actually pretty interesting as this has not been found in any ancient architecture. It is also said that large sheets of mica were found on top of the pyramid of the kind of like the gold tip that used to be on top of the pyramids of Giza. In modern times, mica finds crucial applications in electronic and aerospace industries, showcasing its unique properties as both an electricity conductor and a heat insulator. The presence of an entire mica chamber within the Pyramid of the Sun at Teotihuacan raises intriguing questions. Why was mica needed in such quantities at this ancient site? The enigmatic combination of mica, liquid mercury, and the golden spheres hints at advanced technology, an unexpected revelation that challenges the perception of a primitive culture. As we examine Teotihuacan further, it appears to be more than a mere archaeological site. It resembles an elaborate advanced technical system, almost akin to an electrical motherboard. The presence of sophisticated materials and elements suggests a level of knowledge and craftsmanship beyond what we typically associate with ancient civilization. Pyramids have long been a source of fascination for scientists and researchers worldwide. Notably, scholars like Carl Sagan, Eric von Daniken, Billy Carson, Zachariah Sitchin, and Graham Hancock propose an intriguing idea, that these ancient structures could have functioned as power plants, transmitting electromagnetic energy through the air. Remarkably, this concept bears striking resemblance to the work of the renowned inventor, Nikola Tesla, who also sought to achieve wireless transmission of energy through Tesla Tower. Surprisingly, Nikola Tesla dedicated a significant amount of time studying the pyramids before ultimately developing the revolutionary Tesla coil. Another fascinating connection. Then, there are stories about mercury being used in ancient spacecrafts. In fact, in the Indian epics, they talk about mercury being used in Vimanas. Vimanas were giant flying palaces that the gods or kings used ride around the world in. So now we have some evidence that mercury being found at the site was a part of the propulsion of some type of crafts that the so-and-so gods were using. And if we were to go back to the giant flint knife with giant ship, then hey, the answers become even more clear. Or maybe the ship looked like a giant flint knife. Teotihuacan may be a location in which high exotic technology was used to create electromagnetic fields. Therefore, the area around the pyramids may have been an area in which levitation was much easier for a flying saucer or a flying flint knife. That involves liquid mercury as the fuel. Today, most space facilities are built as close to the equator as possible to take advantage of the Earth's rotation. And lo and behold, Teotihuacan is built near the equator. Like Master Oogway said in Kung Fu Panda, there are no coincidences and there are no accidents. So could Teotihuacan be some type of ancient space port that the gods used, especially the feather serpent who is said to be dedicated to Venus and Mars? First, we must delve into the identities of these gods and gain a deeper understanding of their significance. Notably, the feathered serpent bears a striking resemblance to deities like Hermes, Thoth, and Ningish Zida, revered in Greek, Egyptian, and Sumerian cultures, respectively. In ancient times, the symbol of a serpent often represented wisdom and intelligence. Taking a step back, the first recorded civilization was Sumeria, known for its influential stories like the Great Flood, the Tower of Babel, and the creation story. On stone tablets inscribed with cuneiform writing, the Sumerians recounted that mankind received assistance from beings known as the Anunnaki, meaning those who came from heaven to earth. Here lies the assertion that the original gods were not of this world. Enki, or Ea, emerged as the wisest among the gods, depicted as a snake or reptile. He played a nurturing role, teaching humanity about mathematics and science. Enki's brother bore the name Enlil, a commanding figure and military leader, while Enki assumed the role of a scientist. Both were sons of the king, who ruled over all the gods, named Anu. The Sumerians claim that the Anunnaki hailed from a distant planet known as Nibiru, a celestial body situated beyond the orbit of Pluto. Enki's sons, Marduk and Ningish Zida, held great importance in this celestial lineage. The latter, Ningish Zida, symbolized by the caduceus, a symbol often associated with medicine, appeared as both a serpent and a bird, paralleling the symbolism of Thoth and Hermes. Connecting the dots, the Sumerians conveyed that the Anunnaki, much like humans, were susceptible to greed and envy. To resolve this, the wise Enki divided the gods into 4 regions: Egypt, the Sinai, Sumeria, and the Indus Valley. Enki became Ta, and emerged as his Egyptian incarnation, while his sons transformed into Ra, Marduk, and Thoth, Ninjash-Zida. The great author Zecharia Sitchin wrote books about the Anunnaki such as the Lost Book of Enki, which explains the Anunnaki and the Sumerians. Some claim Zecharia Sitchin to be a liar, but to prove that he wasn't, and that he simply translated these texts. It's important to restate that the pyramids of Egypt, Teotihuacan, and China have no recorded records of their construction. But when we go to Sumeria, we get passages in the Sumerian tablets that seems to talk about the construction of the pyramid. Let the heart of the plain, the heavens reflect. So did Enlil to Enki suggest. Once Enki from this to this agreed. Enlil from the skies took measures. The heart of the plain. When someone says the heart of the city, they're talking about the middle or most important part. So when they say the heart of the plain, we can only assume they are talking about the heart of the land, meaning the middle of the land. But what land? But then we look at the pyramids of Giza, and it's located in the center of all land mass, or the heart of the. In order for you to calculate and get the precise measurements, you would have to measure it from the skies or a satellite, which is also being stated. Enlil to the skies took measured. Enlil, Enki's brother, went up into the sky and started measuring the land. This makes sense as all the pyramids of the world are aligned with the stars and with each other. This measurement can only be done from the sky. But how does the pyramids of Giza that is clearly being described in Sumerian tablets have anything to do with Teotihuacan? Well, the next passage sums it all up. On a tablet the image of smooth-sided skyward rising peaks, for them he drew. If it can be done, let it be. Enlil approval said. Let them also serve as beacons. On the flatland, above the river's valley. Ninjash-Zida a scale model built. The rising angles and 4 smooth sides with he perfected. Next to a larger peak, he placed. Its sides with he perfected, next to it a larger peak he placed. Its sides to earth 4 corners he set, by the Anunnaki with their tools of power. Where its stones cut and erected beside it. Let's analyze this for a minute. On a tablet the image of smooth-sided skyward rising peaks, for them he drew. This sounds like an architect drawing a sketch on an iPad or coming up with the blueprints for the construction. If it can be done, let it be. Enlil approval said. Let them also serve as beacons. A beacon can be a signal, warning, or a guide. A guide for what though? A beacon in the oceans are a guide for ships. A beacon on land pointing to a constellation is a guide for, well, you already know, the giant flint knife in the heavens. On the flatland, above the river's valley. Ninjash-Zida a scale model built. The rising angles and 4 smooth sides with he perfected. Next to a larger peak, he placed. Its sides with he perfected, next to it a larger peak he placed. There is that name again, Ninjash-Zida, Thoth, Hermes, the Caduceus, he was the builder and co-architect based off the text. On the flat land and river valley is obviously talking about the Nile Valley in Egypt. And its side 4 corner he set is specifically what the pyramids are in Egypt. Next to it peaked he placed, next to a larger peak, he placed. Its sides with he perfected, next to it a larger peak he placed. That's 2 peaks and 1 main pyramid, that's 3. By the Anunnaki with their tools of power. Where its stones cut and erected beside it. In a precise location. The peak that was its twin he placed. This account reveals that Ninjash-Zida, under the guidance of his divine family, played a pivotal role as the master architectural engineer, constructing the pyramids with remarkable precision and significance. Ninjash-Zida was said to rule as Thoth in Egypt, but then war began to happen between him and his brother Marduk or Ra, which caused Ninjash-Zida to leave the Nile and take his followers to Mesoamerica, where we can find Afrocentric Americans known as the Olmec heads. But could Ninjash-Zida be the feather serpent? First we must point out that the symbols between Thoth and the feather serpent are the same. The caduceus are two snakes with wings on top, hinting at the name the feather serpent. Then there is the fact that the Egyptians claim Thoth rules Venus and Mars. You know who else did that? The feather serpent. Then there are the pyramids of Teotihuacan. They all are aligned with Orion constellation, just like the ones in Egypt. Then there are the dimension of the Pyramid of the Sun. It's the same exact base size of the Pyramid of Giza, all the way in Africa. Then there is the height of the Pyramid of the Sun. The height of the Pyramid of the Sun is 50% the height of the Pyramid of Giza, and both are also built on top of aquifers. Also in the 1970s, an American engineer, Hugh Harrelson Jr. undertook a study of the site. He was trying to determine if he can break down or discover a standard unit of measure at Teotihuacan. The conclusion, he found consistent numbers, and he discovered they reflected mathematical principles that involved unites, intervals, and spacing of the planets. He found the derivation of the solar system, the distance between the planets, and orbits, were actually laid out at the site of Teotihuacan, something the Giza complex have in common, as they also scale the solar system at the Giza complex. These sites are intended to be an accurate map of our solar system. The precision of the ancient builders at Teotihuacan is truly remarkable. Even the distance between Mars and Jupiter in the asteroid belt was seemingly correctly plotted through the diversion of the San Juan River across the site. Archaeologists speculate that the man-made canal, cutting through Teotihuacan, symbolically represents the asteroid belt. This level of knowledge suggests that whoever constructed Teotihuacan possessed a profound understanding of our solar system, along with advanced expertise in physics, chemistry, engineering principles, and even knowledge of the complex measurements used in the Giza pyramid. Could it be that the Anunnaki deity Ninjishzida played a role in this astonishing feat? Interestingly, 3.5 miles away, atop the Cerro Gordo mountain range, American engineer Hugh Harrelson also discovered the ruins of the Temple of Xochitl. Astonishingly, it fell directly within the sightline of the Avenue of the Ladies and gentlemen, scientists, archaeologists, and researchers believe this temple was mathematically showing there was a planet beyond Pluto, twice as far as Pluto actually. Could this be This could potentially be the nail on the coffin. Is it conceivable that Thoth or Ninjishzida, an Anunnaki god possessing advanced technology, played a role in constructing Teotihuacan as a spaceport? Could he also have been the mastermind behind the design of the pyramids of Giza and all other pyramids worldwide? The lines between God and being from the stars blur as we delve into the realm of advanced technology, mathematical alignments, and the interconnectedness with legends and myths. These enigmatic connections urge us to introspect and question the nature of truth we seek. Is it the truth presented by others, the media, or society, or should we delve deeper into our own truths, discovering the hidden knowledge within ourselves? Exploring these mysteries can lead us to profound revelations about our shared human history and the untapped potential that lies within us. The interpretation and thoughts on this matter are open to individual perspectives and opinions. One possibility to consider is whether Ninjishzida/Thoth, a deity associated with Egypt, could have left with African workers known as the Olmecs and played a role in creating the Teotihuacan site as a spaceport. While this idea may seem far-fetched to some, it's essential to keep asking questions and continue exploring, as knowledge and understanding often evolve with further research. As we delve into the mysteries surrounding ancient civilizations, the next video will take us back to Egypt to learn more about the pyramids there. Through continuous inquiry and investigation, we can uncover new insights and connect the dots that reveal the rich tapestry of our shared human history. Stay curious and keep exploring, because if not you,